Time for our NFL mailbag, helped out by our friends over at BetUS, the #1 sportsbook. Pay attention for later on in the video for how you can get an NFL jersey. Let's go to Jamie Kincaid. Can you get more trading Michael Gallup to the Falcons than the Saints? Maybe. Here's your situation. The Falcons are maybe going to be a playoff team. I think the Saints are better. So if it ends up being equal, the draft pick or whatever you could get from the Falcons would probably be better than the Saints. But you're also juggling this situation. The Saints are a better team. And from the Cowboys' perspective, even though the Saints might be more willing to do a deal with you, do you want to trade Michael Gallup? He helps your team win right now, and that's what you're trying to do more than a future pick. I think you'd have to get a good defensive piece back. From A.J. Evans, do you think Miles Sanders should be traded? Ooh, good question. I think no. I think if you're Philly, Sanders is probably one of those younger guys you're better off keeping because I like Kenny Gainwell, but I want to see what Sanders can do in this offense. I'd say older guys make more sense as trade candidates for Philly. From Robert Couples, should the Cowboys trade for a safety? Now, those of you who have watched us for a long time know how I feel on our Cowboys channel about adding safeties. I always want them to do it. But unless it's a like legitimate top-tier long-term piece at safety, I don't know if you do. You're getting better than average play out of Malik Hooker, DeMonte Casey, if he's not doing stupid stuff off the field. Jaron Kearse, Donovan Wilson, who was your #1 safety entering the year, has played in like one game total with injuries. So I think for Dallas, maybe you're okay short-term at safety. From Benny Boats, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is Vic Fangio's seat? 8 or a 9? I mean, it's got to be close to a 10, right? I think part of it is the way the Broncos have arrived where they're at. They began the year 3-0, looked like a good football team. Then they played better competition, and it's been pretty bad so far. These last 4 games have been an issue. The defense has regressed. The offense can't move the football now. Denver has gone from, hey, maybe they could make a playoff run to, if they don't get it figured out soon, they might make a midseason change. Now, I think Fangio gets closer to officially eliminated than like just fired after a 3-5 start or something, but I think it is pretty hot right now. I don't think his job is safe by any stretch of the imagination. And remember, new front office with George Payton in charge there. That intrigues me in terms of impact. Front office might want to sell at the deadline. Head coach can't if he's trying to keep his job. That dichotomy, that difference there could be a big-time issue for Denver, who, at least for now, sit last in the AFC West. And let's be honest, we think those other 3 teams are much better than Denver. So who will be the next head coach fired? Is it Vic Fangio, Matt Nagy, Brian Flores, somebody else altogether? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video, folks. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, I want you to scroll on down and make your best predictions. Who will be the next head coach fired? From Cameron Kingsley, is Tua a realistic backup for Dallas? No. I think his value is still high. Like if you're a team like Washington, for example, you would trade a hell of a lot more for Tua to be your starter than for Tua to be a backup in Dallas. From I'm the Man, which backup you see Denver targeting if we can't trade for a starting QB? I like Dalton. I think Dalton's better than Teddy Bridgewater. Here's my problem. Are you making the playoffs with Andy Dalton? Sam? He says, I hope not. And he's right. You don't make the playoffs with Dalton. So you do get better. I think where Denver's at right now, folks, is this. I think the process is we try to win with Bridgewater and Locke. If we don't, hey, we tried in the offseason where you could have big names like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson on the market. Go make a splash then versus a minimal upgrade right now. From Zach A., will the Raiders make a move before the deadline? This is a tough one to answer because it really comes down to, is Mike Mayock the GM going forward? If Mark Davis, my bad, is going to overhaul the front office and the coaching staff and he's going to dump Mayock after the year, He's going to say, no, you can't buy because I want my draft picks, not a player who may or may not fit my scheme next year. So if Mayock is going to stick around, I think there's a real chance maybe offensive line help would be really ideal for the Raiders. I would love to get them a good center. I'm sorry, Andre James. I don't think he's it. Derek Carr's been playing great, by the way. I have been very impressed with how well Carr has played, and he made the Eagles' defense look just like an absolute joke last week. So the Raiders, I think, should be buyers more than sellers, maybe a player-for-player trade right now, but I don't think they should be moving big assets if Mayock's not going to be back next year. Kurt Morrow, the Seahawks trade for Nick Foles, while Russell Wilson, or just right with Geno Smith. Well, I think Wilson might be back soon. We'll see on that one. The big issue here with Nick Foles, it comes down to his contract. Foles, who has not played this year, is very affordable for this season. The money here is $4 million base salary. It's about half of that with the prorated amount, so $2 million, very affordable. The issue is Nick Foles next year counts $8 million against the cap, and oh, by the way, $5 million of that is fully guaranteed, and he's not that good of a football player. Because of that, I don't think anyone's going to be after Nick Foles right now. Now, today's show is helped out by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you want to gamble on the NFL, make some money, do it with BetUS. You can get a 125% deposit bonus when you use promo code NFL Daily at chatsports.com/bet. Now, I mentioned the jersey earlier. Here's how you can get it. To get the deposit bonus and the jersey, you have to put down at least $100 using promo code NFL Daily at chatsports.com/bet. Then email us jersey at chatsports.com. We have a ton of different official Nike NFL jerseys that are available for you guys, from Joe Burrow all the way down to Dak Prescott as well, Kyler Murray, etc. Tons of options for you guys. We will need, a screenshot of your first bet, your BetUS account number, and, what jersey and size you guys want. Tons of different options, though, for whatever favorite team you guys have. So if you want in on this deal, email us jersey at chatsports.com. I'll put the email, by the way, to make your lives a bit easier, in both the comment section and in the description. But remember, it's all thanks to our friends over at BetUS, chatsports.com/bet, and promo code NFL. You got to get going with them to get the jersey deal. For my burner account, our first super chat, most overrated and underrated front office. Ooh, good question. I don't think Buffalo has gotten enough credit for the job they've done around Josh Allen. I think the Bills are a bit underrated. I know it's kind of Carolina, north to an extent. I think they're an underrated front office. I am a bit worried about the Colts right now. I've always liked Chris Ballard, but bit of a red flag on that front. I think maybe not so much overrated now, but they were like maybe 2 weeks ago. The Dolphins, but we've kind of flipped on them very quickly. I will say this, I think the Saints, with the way they manipulate the cap, puts them at the tip top. They are one of the better front offices, I think, in the NFL. From SM, do you see Myles Jack getting traded? This has been one of the better defensive players for Jacksonville for several years, but with this new scheme change, hasn't been that guy anymore, and that's a bit interesting in the end. I wouldn't be that shocked. I do think that this is probably a case of, hey, if Myles Jack is suddenly, after being good in the past, getting a big-time contract extension, he's just regressed pretty quickly this year, maybe that means it's a coaching staff issue in Jacksonville. Well, that's a good name to monitor, big name-wise, as we get closer to the NFL trade deadline. From Jeffrey, do you think Seattle would entertain a Lockett trade for a big offer? Oof. I think no. And a big reason why is I think that would really upset Russ. Now, if they want to blow it up in the offseason, Lockett might make some more sense, but they just restructured him. He's still a fantastic football player. He forms one of the better 1-2 punches in the NFL at receiver. Hasn't really shown signs of slowing down yet. So I would be surprised Unless Seattle's like, yeah, we're going to shut it down. We're going to tank, but they don't own their own first pick. So I don't think in the end that Seattle would really be shopping Lockett. Even for a big offer, I think it would have to be a significant offer. Any truth to the rumor that the 49ers have discussed a trade for Watson? Maybe a Watson-Lance type of deal. Oh, my goodness. I don't see how that makes. I think it was Rich Eisen had mentioned that. I think that was very much speculation from Eisen. Look, if Watson for Lance straight up was a thing, maybe if Watson's off the field was cleared, but you give up so much to get Lance. He's played in one game. You can't be bailing on that guy already. From Raiders and Lakers, do you think Brian Flores gets fired? Unless something changes, I think so. I thought the Dolphins, even if they regressed a little bit, would still be like, 500 at worst. They're bad right now, and they're bad. They're not like, okay, they're getting beaten by good teams barely. They're getting beaten barely by bad teams. That's not good. So, right this second, no, but I do think Flores is on the hot seat right now in Miami. SPF, lots of numbers. What is Tua's trade value if Miami decides to upgrade before the deadline? Could you get a first for him? It's a bad quarterback class, so I think you might be able to. But teams have also tried to commit to current quarterbacks. It makes things very questionable in terms of getting proper value back from Tua. And I think the issue here for Miami is once you trade for a new quarterback, the Tua value plummets. What are you going to do? Keep him? We watched that with Arizona and Josh Rosen. So the timing of a Tua trade kind of has to be almost simultaneous of, hey, we're going to trade you and get Deshaun Watson, but teams also know that. So from a value perspective, it does bring it down. Frankly, if I were Miami, I'd see what Tua can do for the rest of the year because you got to win games with no first-round pick. At least your own first-round pick, I should say. Now, Chat Sports, folks, we think, my mom thinks, producer Sam's family thinks, has the best NFL videos on the internet. So if you want them for free, hit that big red button and subscribe. Videos every single day, including, but not limited to, the latest NFL trade rumors. From Raven Ruiz, the Jets looking to move Quinnen Williams? If so, landing spots and asking price. If the Jets trade away Quinnen Williams, like their one good young defensive piece, I think that entire organization should be fired. I am a huge Quinnen Williams fan. I love him. Plenty of teams would have interest in him. It should be a first-round pick, maybe more than that. If the Jets trade away Quinnen for a first-round pick, that could be anything. It could be a premier young defensive tackle like they have right now. I am of the mindset that would be a very fireable offense. I am very impressed by what Quinnen has done in his young NFL time. He's still developing. He's playing on a team that's pretty bad overall, does not have much talent around him, and he's still been impactful and able to produce. So if the Jets trade away Quinnen Williams, there's a very long list of NFL teams that would have interest in adding him at the NFL trade, or even just before the NFL trade deadline as well. All Out Broncos, 1858. Buyers or sellers? They should be sellers. They should be trading away older guys who aren't going to be there, but they've been buyers so far. Stephen Weatherly, Kenny Young, two short-term help pieces for their defense. Fairly cheap, so I'm okay with it from that perspective, but when it comes to like a Kyle Fuller, probably not a Melvin Gordon, maybe even some bigger names, I think Denver should be involved. Speaking of Kyle Fuller, from Alex Pritchard, can he get more trading Fuller to the Patriots? I don't think so. I know the Patriots just won a game. 2 of their 3 wins this year have been over the Jets. So I'm not sure New England is actually that good. I do think that Fuller is available, and there should be a Kyle Fuller trade if you're Denver. He's not playing for you. Get something back to help maximize the money you've already given him at this point. Matthew Tisdale. Should the Cowboys trade for a big fatty in the middle of a defense? I would like it. I am the founding member of Fatties Only, a founding organizer. I don't know what to call it there. I don't know who's out there right now. I would be calling. On the bright side for Dallas, you're going to get back Neville Gallimore and maybe Tristan Hill as well. The Cowboys might be a good answer to this one, actually. Which team has been the biggest surprise so far? My answer, very simply, the Arizona Cardinals. I did not think they would be playing as well as they are right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Robert Bruce, hello Tom, hello Sam. Patriots have lost 3 games on their last possession. Do you think they are still contenders or pretenders? The Patriots, in the end, I kind of think are what their record says they are. You know, they're below 500. Yes, they've lost narrowly to the Bucks, the Cowboys in overtime. They did not lose to the Saints on the last possession, but the Dolphins late in the game on that one. They also barely beat a bad Houston team and have beaten the Jets twice. So, yes, some narrow losses, but their 3 wins are over 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. I think in the end, the Patriots will be around 500, right on the outside looking in for the most part of the playoff picture this year. Joey Drada, is Jalen Hurts the worst quarterback in the NFL, and is Nick Sirianni the worst coach in the NFL? I think Houston, with Davis Mills and David Culley, are probably your 2 better answers for both of those questions, my friend. Nico B, Steelers, buyers or sellers? I think sellers, if anything, maybe Stan Patters. I think there'll be some maybe interest in Joe Hayden. Could there be interest in Eric Ebron? Pittsburgh wants to win with Big Ben, so a full-fledged fire sale I think is unlikely, but I would at least explore offers if I were Pittsburgh. From my burner account, throwing in less credit, but this isn't actually me, is Rattler just Hackenberg 2.0? I don't know if I said this live or after live. This has been my comparison. Spencer Rattler is a more mobile Christian Hackenberg. He's got the arm. He can make the plays, but he's sure as hell not consistent. Now, hopefully he goes somewhere else, transfers, and becomes much more than Hackenberg 2.0. But right now, kind of agree. For Marquise Robertson, hi Tom, also Chase, Harrison, and Mitchell. Michael Renz, and the rest of the Chat Sports crew. Predictions to the Super Bowl, also I have subscribed. Thank you, Marquise or Marquis. My preseason prediction was Packers-Chiefs. Canceling the Chiefs, I'm going Bills, and I guess I'll stick with Packers to keep some credibility there. But, hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments.